Hey guys, it's Grant Gustin. I am hopping on a Zoom call for today's DC Daily.
Hey everyone, welcome to DC Daily. I'm Whitney Moore and here is my co-host Tiffany Smith. Hey Tiff!
Hi!
And we have the one and only Grant Gustin joining us today. Welcome to the show, Grant.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
How are you holding up?
Great. Feel pretty lucky. We're healthy and we're hanging out in the house and relaxing. So yeah, we can't complain at all. We're having a nice time, to be honest.
Grant, your space is so cool. Can we get a little Cribs DC edition? I want to see some of your stuff.
Yeah, I just saw like Jet's head pop up right as you're asking me. Jet's playing here on a Superman snuggie. So that's number one. But yeah, this was season 2, I think. The Flash of Two Worlds, the kind of spin on that we did with Patty Spivot at the front and Flash and Jake Garrick. And then you can't see all of it, but that's from the very first Supergirl crossover we did.
Love it.
You can't see them, but I've got like a lot here. I'll grab one for you. It's one of my favorites. We got Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah.
And then this is probably the favorite. We got Christopher Reeve.
So good.
Probably two of my favorite favorites.
You gotta have the Snuggie on, play with your action figures, make them smooch.
It's a lot to take in.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the first day I put on real clothes in a real long time.
I didn't bother doing that. I'm wearing CCPD sweatpants actually right now.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I feel like everyone has so much extra time on their hands, especially when I think about how much you guys work on set. Have you taken up any new hobbies or started doing anything new?
The only new thing, I'm trying to teach myself guitar. I've been playing ukulele and guitar a lot, which I've like always wanted to do. And I've done some in the past, but I've never stuck to it because we're always so busy. So I've been doing that. And I've worked out more than I have since before Flash started and just playing video games and watching movies and chilling.
I would watch a Twitch stream of all of those things. Maybe we can get a DC ukulele session going later.
I just got a ukulele and I just started my lessons. So I
Nice.
totally.
How are you doing it?
Yo, we're all uke players. Let's do it. Uke
Will you
band.
play too?
Yeah, for like 15 years.
Oh, wow. So
I'm
you can
gonna be
teach
the-
us.
Oh no, I'm terrible. I know 3 chords.
Yeah, I know a few chords, but that's it.
I'm excited to plan that. Well, I'm also excited because The Flash is back on air tonight. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, the first one back is it's a big episode for Joe. Ragdoll is back. I don't know if it's kind of a spoiler, I guess, but Ragdoll's back, and it's he threatens Joe's life, so it's a pretty intense episode, and because of that, there's some as repercussions, like some dynamic shifts with Team Flash and the family, the West Allen family. There's some fallout from the Ragdoll storyline.
I love it. We definitely want spoilers while we're all in our homes
Yeah,
and not able to go anywhere. And speaking of that, there's so many more people on Team Flash now. Can you talk a little bit about what they each kind of add and bring to the mix?
Yeah, no, it's been really fun it's always fun having new people around. I mean, they're always excited to be there, and it's just fun to have a new dynamic. Kayla and Brandon and Victoria are all just really sweet, fun people to work with. Chester is brilliant. He's been invaluable, and they all kind of bring something new to the team, something different. And mostly it's Team Citizen with it's Kayla and Victoria. It's Allegra and
Nash
and
Chester,
Camilla. Yeah, Allegra and Camilla. Yeah, so they're mostly Team Citizen initially, and Chester spending a little bit more time with Team Flash at Star Labs. But as the season continues, we'll start to see them kind of joining Team Flash a little bit more.
Well, we are also very excited here at DC Daily for the return of Reverse Flash. How do you feel about Barry's greatest enemy coming back?
I always love it. We always love it on set. I mean, Tom loves getting to be Reverse Flash and getting Thawne. And it's, Flash's most iconic villain. So it's always good to get him back into the storyline. Not so good for Barry. I think he always has a visceral reaction upon seeing Thawne. He's also kind of not in a great place right now with the Speed Force dying, and he's not at his strongest. And we see kind of a different side of aggression come out of Barry when he sees him. Him and Iris are kind of in a tough spot at that point. So it's Yeah, it's not so great for Barry, but it's great for us as a cast. It's a lot of fun.
The reunion with Wally West. Can we talk a little bit about that? I love it.
Yeah, no, that was also a really emotional episode. So it wasn't at all like sunshine and roses, but like it was really fun to have Keenan back. He's just really sweet, talented guy. So it's always great to have him around. We had to catch up a lot, and we worked together pretty much exclusively like that whole episode. But we're dealing with the death of the Speed Force mostly in that episode, and Barry's finding out not only that it is dying, but that it's because of decisions and actions that he made during Crisis, and it's directly his fault. That's pretty hard for Barry to deal with. But we also get to have some fun in that episode. We got to do a little bit of comedy, and we got to do some cool action at the end of the episode where they had us on these harnesses, like running on the walls of CCPD. So it was cool. We had a lot of fun on that episode.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the relationships on this show, because we know Iris is becoming a hero in her own right. How is that changing her relationship with Barry?
Well, Iris is always she's always been a hero in her own way. And I think her strength is why he fell in love with her. And they really, I think, feed off of each other's strength. But their dynamic has been changing a lot this year, just with the whole mirror Iris of it all. And she's trying to keep Barry out of the picture, out of the way, so he doesn't get in the way of what she's trying to accomplish with Mirror Master. Barry will start to get suspicious eventually. He's the first Team Flash member to kind of start to suspect that something's up with Iris. So that's mostly what we're seeing kind of affect their dynamic as the season continues.
And you already touched on this a little bit, but obviously in real life you're super connected to the Speed Force, because I love that you have the posters and the skateboard and everything.
Yeah, no, I know. It's the whole room.
I love it. So you keep the connection in real life, but on the show, the Speed Force is dead. So how is that really going to impact Team Flash going forward?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Caitlin and Cisco have developed this speed gauge for Barry, which, side note, was like the most annoying prop I've like ever. It was like designed around this whole like playback feature. It shows all these colors for Barry and how it changes if he's using too much speed. So Barry can monitor that he's not using a lot of speed, so he's not depleting his speed too quickly. And the playback would like, if you brushed up against something, it would like change or like turn off completely. So we're like doing all these intense scenes, and they're like, Greg, stop. And someone comes in and like fixes the lock. It's so annoying. But yeah, so they've designed this speed gauge for him. Can make sure he's not using his speed at too rate, which is really stressful and frustrating for Barry, because he's kind of really come to depend on his speed. And I think also he probably to a fault only thinks he's useful because of his speed, but it's a struggle, not as his speed is depleting. And like we touched on before, knowing it's Barry's fault that this is happening. He doesn't handle it all too gracefully most of the time.
His world has changed so much post-Crisis. In your mind, is there one thing that sticks out besides annoying props to use? Is there anything that is like the biggest change in your eyes?
I mean, the biggest change we've touched on multiple times already, which is because of his actions during Crisis, the big crossover, the Speed Force is now dying. But moving from Crisis, we've lost Oliver, which is, Barry's, we could say, best friend and a mentor, and I was going to say sidekick, like that. So that's a big change. But then some of the changes because of Crisis are, I guess, some smaller ones. Like we'll see Hartley Rathaway and down the road. Pied Piper will be back, and his whole arc and backstory has changed because of Crisis. And we're not really aware of what that is at first. It's apparent that something is different, and the dynamic has changed. And we're going to see kind of a lot of that, where there's these subtle changes that throw us off at first because we just have forgotten that there's going to be all these little nuanced things that are different now.
Love it. And so I feel like we've gotten a lot of stuff out of you about the show, but I want to know a little bit more about you just hanging out at home. I know you're a big comic book fan. Is there anything that you're reading, DC comics or DC TV shows, that you're binging right now?
Actually, I've been opening my comicsology app because I'm a big Superman fan. Like I've always been a big Superman fan. So I'm reading most. Yeah, I'm in the middle of one right now, actually. That just
nice. Ooh.
It's been mostly Superman right now. I've here, what do I have downloaded? I've got actually some Batman stuff. I've never read The Killing Joke, so I was going to read that. Yeah, I'm going to read that.
I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah, I'm revisiting a lot of things too, though. Like I'm working, had been doing, and I know New 52 like isn't a lot of people's favorite, but I actually love New 52. And so I never made it all the way through Superman or Action Comics New 52, so I was doing that kind of in tandem with the Batman storyline.
I hope that you're reading something lighthearted to bolster The Killing Joke. Pick it up with some like Booster Gold or some stuff.
Yeah,
you're gonna need to laugh.
I've been reading also like books that are actually, the book I'm reading right now is not lighthearted. It's kind of this Alan Eskin's book, Life We Bury, which is not like, by any means. It's kind of heavy. But yeah, I'll be sure to sprinkle in some light things.
I'm not doing the like sad heavy, but I'm doing heavy where it's like all of the omnibuses that I have, I'm putting them next to my bed because I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. This is the perfect time to read them because they're so heavy.
So physically heavy.
Yeah.
We did all of The Office from start to finish already. Like we're done with it.
Nice.
We'd done it before. It was just time for a rewatch.
Yeah. I hit that a couple weeks ago. It is always a good comfort watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to know what DC character you would want the most to pop up on The Flash.
I mean, it's a boring, predictable answer, and we've seen them at times before in different ways. But now that the Superman and Lois show is happening, I want to see Lois and Clark and Superman, and like as much as possible as we continue.
Never boring. Always a good answer.
Superman's my guy, so yeah, I want to see Tyler and Bitsy on Flash as much as possible.
All right, Grant. Well, thank you so much for logging on with us. It's so great to see your space and to hear from you.
I love this scruff too.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I have to while I can.
The rest of you out there, be sure to catch all new episodes of The Flash Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on the CW. Now, before we go, we have a great announcement. DC just launched the DC Digital First Initiative. Starting today, fans can download brand new comics. To start, we've got Gotham Knights #1, which features 2 new stories, including art by Jim Lee, so go check it out. And if you're in the DC Universe community section, be sure to catch a live Q&A with writer and artist Sean Murphy today at 5 p.m. Pacific. Plus, it's Joker Week. He's turning 80 years old. So keep watching DC Daily. As for us, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.